Welcome back to Masculine Scrapping. We are still working on our trip in Boston, and we were able to do a Boston Tea Party experience, which was kind of interesting. Cool little museum and reenactment on the bay. And this is the brochure from the experience. Oh dear, it looks like I have accidentally got a little water on this, and so you can see those marks. I'm just going to leave that alone. I think I leaked. This is a little card that I was given. This was my character, Joseph Lovering, and he was 16 years old, or 15 at the time, and so that was the part that I played, which was kind of fun. All of this design work was done in Cricut Design Space. And cut with a Cricut Maker, or in that case, drawn. Kind of fun that there's a little water on that because it's an ocean scene, so that's what I'm going to chalk it up to. And because this is double-sided, I'm going to show you a cool technique to put that on the page. I did sew these borders on the edges here before we started. I think when you have vertical lines like that, if you don't have something going this way, then it really makes it look like the project isn't completed, and I thought that these looked a little bit like sailing motifs. So I'm going to work on putting this together. Actually, I have two of these. Usually I try to grab more than one, just in case I mess it up at some point in the process. I have a spare, so we'll work on putting this together. Yeah, this was a fun experience. You kind of pretended to be one of the people who was upset about all the taxes, and so you had a little rally ahead of time, and then you went out on the ship and you threw boxes of tea into the harbor. So it was a fun experience, and to be on a ship that size and to see how it worked was kind of fun. I may have enjoyed it more than our students, but that's okay. Again, overlapping this drawn element graphic with the photograph is okay and helps to show movement on the page. And so now I'll go ahead and put the entire piece down. I may be coming to the end of my roll of tape here. It's becoming harder to roll. Sometimes when you use paper that comes out of a book, it creates these little little things on the top. Sometimes I'll cut them off. Here's another technique. I'm just wetting the end of my finger with my tongue. I suppose you could use some water, and I just go like that, and it kind of takes them right off. Okay, so there we go. There's one side. We'll start getting this together now. And I got to do this in the right order. This is the front side of the ship. We were some of the first people on, and so I was able to get some pictures before everybody else got on the boat, which was nice. Actually, that was the back. This is the front of the boat. And then in this picture over here, you can see the side. We're about ready to throw the tea off. These tea boxes were actually already available on... Okay, this is going to be interesting because this is pretty fragile. So I want to just get it where I know I can get some tape. And I'll stick it on. All those little slats are cut marks. So I'm just making sure. And you'll notice on this one, see how it's got this little piece down here. I cut it out of a piece of paper that I already cut, and it missed that part. So I just repaired it using the same design as, the same material as the highlights, and it actually turned out okay. So I'm not going to complain too much about that. Again, I think if I wasn't pointing it out to you, you would probably not know the difference. Okay, now this one I need to be careful with. So right here, okay, I don't know if you can see this, but I got a little tape through that hole, so I'm just going to use this little weeding tool, pull that apart a little bit so you can't see it as much. So there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and affix this whole piece to the page. Yeah, at the Boston Tea Party we didn't get to drink any tea. They did have a really cool part of the museum where they had some paintings that kind of came alive, which was cool, but also they actually had an original tea box from that event at the museum that had been passed down over the years to family members, and I thought that was really cool. Alright, so with this card, it's got two sides. I want people to be able to see both sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hang it, and I'm going to use a piece of leather and also this brad to do that. So I'm going to need to get a tool here quickly. I think this is called a big punch, and I'm going to just put a little hole in the corner of this, and I'm going to put the leather through it. I've not actually done anything like this before, so this is kind of a first time experiment. And I do want it to hang at an angle, and we're going to kind of put it right through here. So just going to put a little dot where I want to put a hole, because I want to be able to flip it. Okay, so that's, I put it right about here. So we'll put that to the side. The thing I like about this punch is it's got at least 6 inches of space, so you can get into the middle of any 12-inch piece of paper and make a punch hole, which you can't do with a handheld punch. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. What I'm going to try and do here now is I'm going to feed these 2 pieces of leather through there, and I'm going to tape them to the back. Notice how I'm doing this separately. There we go. I think that will keep that from, there we go. Now I was going to put this little star in there, this little brad, but I'm not sure that's necessary. There we go. Just slip that same brad in there with that tape. And now we have, oops, we have our little piece that we can turn over. So I am pretty happy with that. So here we go. Boston Tea Party experience with a little flap that can be turned. Hope you enjoyed watching this one. Would love to see your projects. Take care.